Hello and welcome to the HBC Sharing God's Love podcast, part of Faithfood.tv. I'm Stuart, one of your hosts, along with Joel.
Hello.
And today we are joined by Mim from Hawkeye Baptist Church. So really looking forward to this episode, as we do every time. We were talking just before we started rolling about what we're going to call this, and I think we're going to call it Creation or Evolution. Is that right?
Yes.
Lovely. So we've definitely got the right person on from our church to talk about this. So we've got lots planned, and there's going to be bits of science, some challenging and interesting questions that might come up as well, and bits of scriptures we try and introduce as well. But Mim, before we do that, it would be great to hear a bit more about who you are, your involvement in HBC as well. And
right. Well, I've been at HBC 37 years. I moved here because of my job, and that was a scientific job because I was a biomedical scientist, worked in the laboratories in Southend Hospital. My belief has been a Christian as long as I know, because I was brought up in a Christian home. So creation to me was what it was. I didn't really get into evolution until quite a lot later, when suddenly it was being promoted as the only way forward. But it just made my belief in creation even stronger, because I just, as a scientist, cannot believe that things happened by chance. As a scientist, things don't happen by chance.
Can you be a scientist and a Christian? I mean, you know, some people, sometimes you want to talk about God and they say, oh, I'm a scientist, like, I know better than believe in God. So how does it work?
I feel that God gives me the reason to be a scientist, because things are so amazingly put together, and because the world does work wonderfully. That for me is the science, and somebody's got to be organising it. It doesn't just happen. So that's why I believe there's got to, in God, that as a scientist, it makes sense. That's my reasoning, definitely.
Yeah. And there are famous examples of, I can't name any now, but of scientists who, and I actually spoke about one earlier, where you...
Most of the early scientists, most people have heard of Newton, you know, the gravity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was a strong Christian. Einstein, many of the early, a lot of the things that we take for granted. There was a guy called Boyle who brought out something called Boyle's Law. It's something chemists will understand. And again, he was a strong Christian. And their belief was that as a scientist, God had given them a brain to find out how well he'd made the world. So that's why they spent so much time looking into how things worked.
Yeah,
it's fascinating when you look back.
Yeah,
they just automatically believed in God.
You actually remind me of something, that there is scientific facts in the Bible.
Oh, indeed.
You just reminded me, because I think I don't know if it's, I can't remember who it was, but you know, like back in certain centuries, they used to bleed people out.
Yes.
But in the Bible, it says the life of a creature is in the blood.
Exactly.
In Leviticus 17.
Exactly.
So when someone find that out, which I can't remember who it was, I was like, no, you can't bleed people out.
No.
So actually,
there's a lot of things, if you read, I think because of translation and because of modern wording, a lot of the stuff that we think isn't biblical actually is in there. We've just got to tease it out from, and when you read through, creation is talked about from Genesis right the way through to Revelation. And remember, in Revelation there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and it will not have any of the bad issues that we have with the earth today. And let's be honest, a lot of the bad issues are caused by us living on it. But that's because we are a fallen set of people. So that's the way it is.
Oh, amazing. Well, I mean, you recently did a bit of a talk, didn't you, on a ladies' day, and yeah, got rave reviews from what I heard. So I kind of wish I was there. But yeah, so I think for today, we've discussed maybe just kind of going through some of the kind of high level bits, and then actually we'll go deeper as we have the discussion. But it'd be really good just for your perspective on. How, you know, your perspective, things you find interesting, and present some facts to us as well, if that's okay.
Well, one of the things that I started with is, why is evolution promoted and accepted so widely? Well, think about it. If you believe in creation, you have to believe in a creator. And the reason that evolution has taken over is because people don't want a God. So that is the reasoning behind it becoming so popular. Sadly, and I've only found this out recently and I was not aware of it, countries that have gone down the path of communism and atheism have promoted evolution because they can't want creation, because that would mean there was and they wanted to get rid of God out of their countries. Russia was one, certainly through the Cold War. China. And Christians in those countries are still very, very badly got at because they're believing in God, because they believe in creation. So when you add those things together, that's why evolution is being promoted, because then you've got rid of the creator.
And sorry to interrupt so early on, but it might be helpful for us just for those watching, just for us to define what we mean when we say creation and evolution as well. There's a lot of different concepts of evolution, isn't there, and lots of different. So it'd be good to.
So basically, evolution believes, or tries to make us believe, that there was nothing, and they did go down the Big Bang, although that's now being slowly moved away because they can't prove it. But everything came from nothing. And somehow, cleverly, came together and grew. One of the things, and it's one of the points I make, is you cannot make a living creature out of a non-living one. If we had a stone, it wouldn't suddenly become a frog, because that's not, a stone doesn't have the same constituents. So how can they believe that we started off with, as they say, dust flying round in the atmosphere, and it came together and it slowly went from a stone and then it became a living thing? That doesn't, to me as a scientist, make any sense. Whereas if you believe in creation, you believe in a God or a higher power, and I accept that some people use that terminology, and he created everything, agreed, from nothing, but as a higher power, that was his power.
Great.
And that's what we believe, that he had the power to bring together and make a world that was livable for all the creatures he also made and put on it. I personally believe in 6 normal days of creation, because in the Bible at the beginning it says the evening and the morning, and as most Jews will know, their day is that way round. They don't, we talk about a new day in the morning, but they don't. They start their day in the evening, and they still do that. Friday night at 6 o'clock is the beginning of the Sabbath for them.
Okay.
Even though the Sabbath for us would be Saturday, and we'd start. So that's how they do that. So the fact that God wrote, that was written by Moses in Genesis, doesn't that say that was an ordinary day?
Plus, it's confirmed in Exodus, because in Exodus, God said to Moses, 6 days you shall work, and on the 7th, because the world was created in 6 days. So if it was 6,000 years, then you have to work for 6,000 years.
And then to have 1,000 years off, that sounds like a nice idea. But that's, so personally, for me, creation is a outside omnipotent body, who I call God, who is able to put together the world that we live in. Whereas, sadly, with evolution, they don't have that. They just assume it somehow happened. And that is the bit I can't get to grips with, especially as a scientist. Something doesn't come out of nothing, it can't.
Isn't that the first law? Because you're a scientist, the
Yeah.
first law of biology
Yeah.
says you need something.
Exactly.
something.
Exactly. I mean, if you go into your kitchen to make a loaf, if you haven't got the flour and the yeast, you're not going to make a loaf, are you? It's not going to just appear out of your bread machine or out of your oven. And that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't make sense to me, I'm afraid.
It's
But-
not scientific.
No, it's not. No. So that's really where I come from.
Cool.
That
Thank
one.
you.
Yeah.
And yeah, what are these main points then? That
Right,
you
okay then,
cover
right,
through?
well,
It'd be great to talk
One
through
of the
those.
first things that I am very interested in is about DNA. If people don't know what it is, it's deoxyribonucleic acid, and it is found in all of us. Every single one of us is made up of DNA. All mammals and all animals, even down to the tiniest amoeba. Anything living has DNA in it, and even plants have DNA, because that is what makes us function. It is basically the whole of us. That is such an amazing piece of engineering that there is absolutely no way it could have slowly come together and got it right. It just doesn't work like that. Plus the fact within our cells, and DNA is in all our cells, we have other proteins that make the DNA do its right things. It's an interesting thing they found recently. They used to call all the spare, as they DNA, junk DNA. That has been thrown out of the window because they have realised that there's much DNA in our cells that is only used occasionally, but when it is needed, it is needed. And unfortunately, if they'd have been looking at it more, they would have been able to help more people with genetic diseases. They just assumed it was left over from evolution.
Okay.
And that, I think, is very, very sad, that we've allowed that to actually spoil our ability to move on.
Yeah.
So that is something that has... But you never hear that. No evolutionist has come up on the television and said, oh, by the way, we don't call it junk DNA anymore because it's not. So that's one thing that really I find. Also, how can all the things that are needed, even in a cell, come together at the right time and just out of chance? It would be one in millions and millions and millions and millions of, it doesn't make, there's no logic to that. So when you look at that, for me, DNA says somebody made me, somebody designed me. We've all got cars. Do we think that they just flew out the sky? No, we know there was a car manufacturer who designed them. Actually, that's what my husband did. He was a jig and talk designer. He made. So why do we believe that humans, cats, dogs, etc., sort of just happened?
Yeah.
When you start looking at it like that, and I think because you have to start thinking about it, and you have to be willing to question, and then of course you have to question, well, okay, if I believe that did come together by some divine, then I've got to believe about the divine person. And that's the hard bit, I think, to be honest.
It's a challenging question.
It is a challenging question, because if you've got no belief, but someone's telling you there's a person who created you, that's quite hard to understand, isn't it? I mean, we accept our parents created us, didn't we? I mean, no one argues that. You didn't just suddenly appear in your mum's womb or suddenly appear on her lap, did you?
Even you have a parent.
Exactly.
You can't say...
Exactly. We've all got, and the amazing thing with the manufacture of children is all the right things come together and make a whole person who grows into an... How does that happen by chance? Even that doesn't make any sense. let alone all the animals that it happens to and all that, you know. And I don't want to think that I came from an amoeba anyway. I don't like that idea at all.
I have a question though, because in women's... Hi Jason, sorry.
Jason.
Oh,
sorry, I didn't introduce you earlier.
No, you didn't.
No,
You didn't.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I've been
Jason.
I've been wanting to ask so many questions.
Go for it.
Okay, thanks. I'm
Sorry,
here, guys. So I can. No, it's all right. I just want to be acknowledged.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that we give them parents as well.
Yes. Yes.
Humans become parents.
Yes.
So that's how does that come about?
Exactly.
And even the animals become parents.
Exactly.
So this is not.
This isn't the really interesting bit, though. All our mitochondria.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. The mitochondria, which is the, shall we say, the battery pack of your cell, it gets everything happening.
Yeah.
Every single one of us, it comes from our maternal side. Right? Mm-hmm. You don't get mitochondria from your father because sperm just aren't big enough to carry it, basically. It's as simple as that. Every single mitochondria can be relayed back to one woman.
That's the question I had.
Oh, we talking about Eve here?
Yes.
Okay.
To the extent that evolutionists call her mitochondrial Eve.
They're naughty.
How did they... This is a question that was asked after that meeting from one of the ladies. How did they trace that back? How did that...
Well, basically by doing, if you do your DNA profile, and they can look back and they keep going back and keep going back, and they know that it definitely was a person in Africa, which of course then... The Garden of Eden was on the edge of Africa. We sort of think of it somewhat, but it's not. It's actually on the edge of Africa. So they know it comes from that area, and they know it comes from that person. And they are beginning to think that the male side also all comes from one man.
Really?
They haven't proved that yet, but they're working on it.
They have to be careful because they're not proving the Bible.
Well, you see, this is the thing. What is beginning to happen, which I find fascinating, is the more in depth people go into some of this stuff, the more they actually find that what is in the Bible is true.
Yeah.
They don't want to admit to it, so they're trying their hardest to find some way round it, some other explanation.
So
I've got some...
I'm gonna, because I've been...
thank you.
It's fine. Are you saying that we should question what we're taught at school?
Yes.
What, just...
Full stop.
Are you saying we should question the teachers?
Yes.
Question...
it's not the teacher's fault because they get given what they're allowed to teach.
Yeah.
I know there have been occasions where Christian teachers have refused to teach evolution, and generally, unfortunately, they lose their job.
Okay, so there's a risk if you...
There is a risk.
Yeah, of course.
A bit like there has been with other issues, as we all well know.
Understood.
So I can understand why they keep quiet, but what's wrong is I have no issue with people wanting to teach it but they should teach that there's two options.
Gotcha.
Because then, for me, I mean, personally, I think creation, but I understand that that's not going to fit every situation. Yeah. So, but I should say, some people believe this, and some people believe this.
Rather than taking a side.
But exactly.
Yes.
Give you both options.
Yes.
Explain the both options, and then of course. It is
similar to religion.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like there are Buddhists,
there are Hindus, there are Muslims,
and there are Christians.
That's another actually very fascinating thing that I found out only the other day. All the main religions in the world believe in a body that produced the world. Even Hinduism and Buddhism.
When you say a body that produced the
world, a power. Yes.
Understood.
And all...
now that's fascinating, isn't it?
And even different culture
have
a Noah's flood.
Yes,
But-
they do.
Yeah,
they
okay.
do.
Version,
Yes,
yeah.
all the way
Different
through.
versions.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, that's
interesting too.
another thing we could do a podcast on,
Yeah.
because I've got loads of stuff on Noah's flood. Woo,
Yeah.
yeah. But one other thing I just want to say about DNA is the whole point of how they say in evolution it works is that each time the DNA replicates, it adds, hence we go from, a dog to whatever. It doesn't. When DNA replicates, if it loses anything, it mutates. So it becomes less.
Not more.
Are you
Not
saying,
more.
Are you saying that was a lie? Is that what you're saying?
It's totally incorrect, yes.
And
actually geneticists will tell you that is the truth.
So
But
information can't be added.
it cannot. It will mutate, and sometimes it mutates and it doesn't harm the person, but mutations only lose information or change it to something else. They do not add it. DNA cannot add to itself. Now, if we want to go from the amoeba to us, you've got to keep adding. Because amoebas don't have ears and eyes, and you know what I mean.
yeah, I can see why you say keep your mind open, because the information seems to change over the years.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Absolutely.
I think Answer in Genesis Ministry, I think the book
Yeah,
you gave me
yeah.
from Ken Ham, he explained it quite well, which what you
Yeah.
were saying. He says you can either have God's word and base your theory on God's word, God created the world, Genesis, or you can trust in man's world.
Yes.
Words.
Yes. Yes.
So which one are you going to choose?
Yeah.
Are you going to trust in
Exactly.
a God who is just, who is fair, or are you going to trust in man who is sinful
And we'll tell you whatever that moment. You see, the trouble is as well, every time something else comes along to disprove what they thought, they tweak the information, but they don't put it out there.
yeah, that's terrible.
So instead of saying, well, actually, like the junk DNA, I only found out about it because I was researching and going, but why didn't you get it on the television? Oh, by the way, they've proved that there's no such thing as junk DNA. But they don't, do they?
No.
Why? Because that would make everyone go, well, if that's not correct,
Yeah.
what's all the rest of this stuff?
Or the blood they found in dinosaurs.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the fossils?
Yeah,
Yes,
the fossils.
yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Fossils.
yeah. I mean, again, because DNA has got a relatively short life. I mean, it can be thousands of years, but it's not millions of years.
Yeah.
If they're finding it in fossils,
Yeah.
then
It's very bizarre.
that fossil can't have died that long ago
Not at all.
because the DNA wouldn't be viable.
It wouldn't
They
be-
know that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be red blood. would
No,
it?
no.
It's red.
It would not be viable, and it would not be able to be tested.
Yeah.
I have a question. Talking about dinosaurs, sometimes you watch those, I want to say rubbish program, some program,
Yeah.
and they talk about dinosaurs having feathers or things like that, and I'm like, are they making them up? Because they make it sound like they did some research. Or
I can't
whatever.
remember where it is, but one of the begins with an A, Arcturus or a name something like that.
Don't look at
It's
me.
in here somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not
Anyway, but the one they found, when they actually looked at it, someone had stuck the feathers on it.
Yeah, it's in this book as
Yeah.
well. It's they're talking
Yeah.
about the hoax
Yeah,
of it. Yeah.
they'd literally stuck to
Interesting.
make it look like a dinosaur was becoming a bird.
Oh, wow.
That's terrible.
And the same happened with, I think it was a fish, walking out of the water. They actually discovered that its fins, because some fish can walk, if you know what I mean, but on their fins,
Yes.
not on legs. And remember, you couldn't go from being a fish to being a mammal on land, because fish have gills
Yeah.
to breathe by, we have lungs. Now, to go from gills to lungs, that's just huge. So it just wouldn't
I
work.
think that brings us to the picture which used to be very popular, where you had an ape becoming human.
Yeah, exactly.
Walking in a particular direction.
Exactly.
Which we were all shown.
Yes.
But I've been told that's been taken off the shelves now.
Yes, it's not allowed. And it's not. It's been taken away more from a racist
Yeah.
point of view, actually, than from a.
A bit like the gollywog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the sad thing is, with all those, especially pictures like that, is a lot of slavery derived from the fact that people saw that and believed that those people weren't as intelligent as whoever was going to be their slave master.
And a couple of scriptures which were thrown in beside
exactly. And people have forgotten. We get all these wonderful pictures of almost a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus. No, he was a Jew. Yeah. There's no way he would have looked like that. I'm sorry. Yeah. He would have been dark-skinned, not dark, but you know what I mean. Yeah. He would have had Middle Eastern. So, unfortunately, again, it's the art and the you think you're going down in an art gallery. What do you see? All these ludicrous.
So mankind tampers with the story of creation.
Exactly.
Clearly.
But then, if you don't want to create creation, you don't, because you don't want a creator. And let's be honest, we believe that there is an enemy against God.
Yes.
And what's he going to do but promote the fact that God doesn't exist?
Well, I have to ask you this now. If that's the case, I mean, it's been done for a reason then.
Oh, yes.
So it's been done to steer people away from what we would consider as the truth.
Yes.
Which is highly dangerous.
Yes. Exactly.
Because it means people would miss out on the salvation Jesus. God,
because
Jesus,
that is all the enemy's doing. He spends his life trying to stop people from believing. And if he can find a scientific... As has been portrayed,
a different version of how
exactly. Then, and people go, well, that makes sense.
Well, an alternative. Why not think this way rather than that way?
Exactly.
And also people don't want to believe in God because God comes with rules.
Exactly.
With a standard of living.
That's right.
And that's a different podcast. But if there's no God, where's morality?
Exactly. Well, this is another thing. How come, if we all came from amoeba and all the other things on the way up? Why do humans have morality? Because that's not a physical thing, is it?
No.
And even, shall we say, the most off-the-wall human has morals.
That's right.
They might not be the morals that we think, but they have morals.
They do,
They have rules.
That's right,
Where did that come from then? Because to me, that says there's somebody who's got the standard, the right way, and we're all trying to live. And that...
I'm going to let you go first. Some people would even argue that there's no spirit in us.
Exactly.
I find that hard to... but people actually believe that. I don't know how...
But then I think that's, for me, again, is about, the morals and the person. It's part of the spirit of us.
Yes.
It's the non-human, you know what I mean? The non-obvious bit. That's how I see it,
But even the Bible says it's written in our heart.
Yeah, exactly.
And you see it in children.
Exactly.
A child will know that they will lie, and they will look at you because they know they did something wrong. No one told them.
No. Whoever taught a child to be naughty? But we do it. Why? Go back to Genesis 1 and have a look what happened. Blow me, we failed, didn't we?
That's right.
Miserably.
And
anyway.
No disrespect to humans, but even dogs know when they get things
exactly.
wrong.
And anything.
So they have a certain amount of intelligence or wisdom or
exactly.
whatever.
There is knowledge in that's got to come from something greater than them. That's how I see it. Yeah.
Intelligent design.
I don't know where to go from there.
You had your Bible.
I feel like I did, into this one.
I had Romans up. I'll bring it back up. Just because there's something that you mentioned, Mim, that I thought was appropriate, because you mentioned around how... 1 second. You mentioned around how scientists are discovering how marvellous God's creation is. And Romans 1:19 was something I wanted to mention. It was one of the scriptures we had ready, which talks about us discovering God through His creation.
Yep.
So I'll just read it and then just might for some reflection. So, because what may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has shown it to them. For since the creation of the world, His invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even His eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because although they knew God, they did not glorify him as God, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like corruptible man, and birds and four-footed animals, and creeping things. Therefore God also gave them up to uncleanness in their lusts of their hearts, to dishonour their bodies amongst themselves, who exchanged the truth of God for the lie, and worship and serve the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few things that you
there
mentioned.
There is. It says it there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
My question is, because the Bible there says that we've got evidence that God created the world.
Yes.
What can we label some of those things? Because I'm sure there's some viewers who don't know God, who maybe want to know God, are sitting there thinking, where's the evidence?
I would like you to talk about the eyes, because we talk about the eyes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Thank you. So you're saying the eye. We're beginning with the eye.
Right. Look at the eye.
Okay.
Everything in your eye has to be aligned together for it to see.
Yes.
So it couldn't possibly have one little bit come along and then another little bit come along and then another, because it wouldn't work.
Even we know that because if you've got people, I'm not sure of the correct pronunciation, but boss-eyed.
Yes,
when
exactly.
One's a bit wonky.
Yes.
This is an issue.
Exactly.
So you're saying,
and without everything being in the right place, so that the light goes in and hits the retina at the back exactly where it should.
Yeah.
You've got the colour bit round the outside, so you can see colour.
I get it.
And everything. And without that all being together at once in one time.
Grown together.
Yes.
The two.
Yeah.
And just to go...
It wouldn't work.
The eye couldn't evolve.
No,
basically.
no.
So you're basically saying there's no... One eye couldn't have been came about first.
No,
and then the other one.
But it's even bits of the eye.
Okay,
if you're talking about sort of us developing,
yes.
So you'd end up with, I don't know, the whites of your eye.
Yes.
In one animal, and then the next time along, perhaps they'd add in, that
doesn't make sense.
No, and the person won't be able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was...
It's about being able to see, and animals will be the same. I mean, a dog, cat...
But also, I find, as you're talking, I'm thinking, even the eye, what it does.
I know.
What it's for.
All the information that your eye picks up.
Yeah, I mean, that had to be the plan, didn't it?
Of course it was.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like a glass and it's got to be stuff to go through.
And I mean, that hole in the middle, is where the light goes through, and it goes specifically onto a particular bit on the retina. I don't know if you've ever had a picture taken of the back of your eye.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I have it done, and Bob has to have it done.
Like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
When you see, the incredible, and then look at the rest of your body.
Yeah. Before you move on to the rest of the body, to the camera here, which is filming you, we've copied the eye.
Yes, of course.
To get this camera,
but that didn't just drop out the sky, did it?
Clearly did. There you go.
Actually, it was a fridge before.
Thanks, honey. But you know what I'm thinking? Vision had to be a plan. Vision,
of course, it was.
Had to be an idea.
Yes.
Before it was created.
Also, we see colour.
Exactly.
So that as well.
Yes.
And dogs see in black and white, I've been told. And
and certain different animals see different colours. Yeah. Birds see certain colours and not other colours because it keeps them alive. It's about life.
Yeah, again, detailed.
Yeah, Yeah. And the way I see it, because it is my favourite thing, a rainbow. Okay. I love rainbows. I've got a real thing about rainbows. So it is refracted light, right? It is white light, and it shows you all the colours that come from white light.
Yes.
Yeah? That's what a rainbow is. So God was saying, when he put that rainbow in the sky, look what I'm going to allow you to see in colour. And I've put it up here to show you.
Yeah.
And I just find that amazing.
Can you break that down? I didn't quite...
Yeah, well, basically, white light is refracted through the rain.
Yes.
And that divides it into all the colours.
Gotcha.
That's how a rainbow works.
That's how the colours
work. Yeah.
Understood.
It has to be refracted because white light is at this angle and then it gets pushed, and depending on whether it goes that side or that side, you've got red at one end and you've got purple at the other, haven't you?
Yeah.
And that's it, they're all different wavelengths.
Understood.
Every bit of light is a different wavelength.
Gotcha.
And
so that's a perfect design.
It's a perfect picture.
Okay, to get the rainbow, it has to be a perfect. Something has to be.
Yeah, and why are rainbows bows?
Yeah.
Because the world is round.
Yes. That's why they.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just all part of the, and there's so many things that. Why is the sun exactly the distance it is from the Earth?
Yeah, because I've been told, I think we discussed this earlier, that if it was...
any closer or any further away, we'd freeze to death, too close we'd burn up.
So it's the exact right place to keep us
exactly.
alive.
Yes.
Even the moon, I was told that if it was closer, that would affect the sea.
It would, yes, because remember the moon is there for the seas.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything has been put exactly in the right place.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
So what you've just described, literally maybe 4 different attributes of the world or the human body, are reasons why we are without excuse.
Yes.
So it's there.
Yeah.
You've heard it here, guys.
It basically is explaining how we came to be where we are here, because God wanted us to live on a world that was capable of life.
Yes.
So he made it, kept moved the waters and all the things he did, so that we could live on it.
I get it.
Because we wouldn't otherwise have been able to.
Because I'm now, as soon as you're saying all this, I think you brought me to the place of the Garden of Eden.
Yes.
Where the trees are. And
exactly.
And we're talking about fruit now.
Yes.
Because we need to eat to survive.
Yes.
And we got all the fruit.
And this is a fascinating one. Prior to the flood, everything on Earth was vegetarian. Every animal, every human.
Yes.
When we go to heaven, it'll be the same. But in between, God has asked us to look after the animals and use them for meat. And I didn't realise that it was a mandate that God gave us to actually use the animals. He gave it to us as a blessing, and we must keep it.
Was that when God made the cloth? Was that the point there?
No, it's after. It's after Noah's. And when you look at also, that's the thing we could do when we do Noah's Ark. The atmosphere changed between pre-Noah and post-Noah.
Yes.
And there's a lot of evidence around that, and that's proof. Anyway, what I would just like to talk about is if we slowly came from an amoeba to us, where are all the fossils of all these...
An amoeba, sorry.
An amoeba.
What's
but
that?
where... it's a one cell thing. Basically, where are all the intermediate fossils of the partially...
Yeah.
Because they're not there. They have dug and dug and dug. And even in the lowest rocks, it is fully formed animals that would have been around or are still around. So how did that happen?
And we should still see transition today because is evolution stopped suddenly?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, it doesn't even, and they're desperate to find these fossils, including, you may have heard of, they found supposedly a woman and they called her Lucy. People heard of Lucy.
Yeah. There's a film being made about Lucy.
Yes, but Lucy is a complete false, made up.
Yeah.
Totally made up.
They're definitely evolutionists.
And there was this is another one.
This is bad. They're using deception.
Oh, it's total deception. Right, okay. There was also they found a skull, the Piltdown skull. You might have heard of that.
I've not heard of that, no.
Oh yes, well it was reported an important missing link between apes and man. But 40 years later, when they re-examined the specimen, it was discovered that skull top was only about 400 years old. So it was a load of rubbish what they did, and they put that out, but they never ever rescind any of the things, and that's so wrong, isn't it? I mean, it's just,
and also the missing,
and they call it skillful forgery.
Yeah, because of that would also explain the missing link, or where is the link between monkeys and humans? Why would I still be here?
Yes.
If
exactly.
It's evolved
if you keep moving on.
Exactly. Why would I still be here?
Yeah.
Or like you said, where's the superhuman?
Yeah.
Because we've been on the planet for over billions of years.
They should be able to fly by now.
Yeah, exactly. But that also doesn't. It just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
So when they can't find all these fossils, then why are they not saying, well, perhaps it didn't work? Like, do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I think one of the things that like strikes me what you're saying is if you think about, so from an evolutionary perspective, and I might be getting this wrong, but it requires a lot of time, which is one of the components, I suppose, a kind of magic ingredient. But it implies that if things go almost against their nature or through mutation, that they adapt and add things, like you say. But if you think about in general life, when we go against our nature, what do we get? We get disease. We get, so for example, if we and this might not be a relevant point.
No, I know where you're coming from.
If we work without rest, we get ill.
Yes.
If we eat food we shouldn't eat, we don't develop and mutate and get stronger for it. We get ill.
Yeah.
And we degrade from that.
Yeah.
So so
that's proving the DNA mutation.
Yeah, and it's
going downhill.
Yeah, yes. And I suppose the person who may, have a kind of non-creation perspective may say, well, millions of years. But what you described around the eye, I found quite interesting because, even if you grant all those things which came into perfect sequence at once, two big questions lie for me. One is, how do you exist without seeing before
exactly, because there must have been a person out a thing out there that didn't have eyes.
And secondly, how, and with the eye and also with the amoeba example, how does that happen independently, where this just evolution magically happens and things start to crossbreed all at the same time? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, this is that they still haven't. There's no evolutionist that can say at this point this started happening. They just say over millions of years X happened, because they haven't got a point. There is no moment. There is no defining, and that's the thing that gets me, because I'm thinking, well, if you're being scientific, the whole point of science is you can go back and you say, it started there, we did this. You can repeat it. Now, they have tried to put together that primeval soup and try and if they put enough sort of slosh in it, they get a few lines of a tiny protein. But it took, I forget how long, and I mean, there was no way that was ever going to end up
work.
I've actually got a stat. Can I just read it? Sorry to interrupt you. Because I was doing this is dangerous Googling, by the way. This is not scientific background. But there was something, because I was saying, right, what are the strongest cases for different point perspectives? So one of the things I found was Hoyle's fallacy.
Oh yes.
So it said the number of enzymes necessary for a cell is 2,000, and the probability of random assembly of that is 10 to the power of 40,000.
40,000.
So 40,000.
That's an awful lot of zeros.
And to give some perspective, the amount of atoms in the entire observable universe is 10 to 80. So the probability of the enzymes coming about by chance is 40,000 versus 80.
Doesn't even make any sense.
Gives you more chance to win the lottery.
I mean, this most of these things, when you look at the probability, that it's infinite and there's no way it would have happened. And even if it happened, it might have happened once, not the hundreds of times it would have needed to happen. And the other thing that gets me, and this is not so much even creation and evolution, look at population.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
Now, population, what are we now, 8 billion, right. that has happened. You look at from 1950 to now. 1950, I think it was 3 billion. So if we've been around for all these billion, why is our population only 8 billion? Why is it not, I don't know, 200 billion? Or, you know what I mean?
Right,
It's all done that relatively recently.
Yeah, we should be a lot more.
Yeah. You see, that doesn't. I just looked at that and I thought, I was reading something else. It was nothing to do with this, but I just thought, oh, hold on a minute. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
So add those things in, and you start to sort of get a much, I think,
and
bigger picture.
There's also some things I've watched on YouTube like that can't be explained, and there's a mother scientist who actually they became a creationist after watching.
Yes.
Like the giraffe.
Yes.
Having such a long neck.
Why?
Yeah. And the fact that what did it start off with a small neck, then get longer?
Yeah.
Not the case.
No.
And also it says that I think the way the Lord's made the design of the giraffe's heart, it would.
Oh yes, it pushes. Yes, it does.
So
it's amazing.
It might have given it brain damage or heart attack if it
wasn't the long neck.
Exactly.
The reason it's that strong is because it has to push the blood up the neck.
So,
but if it was that big in an ordinary animal, it would blow the top of their head off.
And so they're saying that can't evolve.
And also, they said that the giraffe, the evolutionists would think that she would have a big heart to handle the heart blood pressure to change. But it's actually a normal size heart.
But it's got pressure.
Wow. But it's got more pressure. It's quite amazing.
I mean, when you look at things like that, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
And that to me says how individual and I mean, you look at every person you know, every animal you know, they are all individual.
That's right. It shows me,
and that is amazing.
Yeah, that's how fast.
Exactly.
And how great he is.
Yeah, that he chose not to make us all. I mean, let's be honest. If you could have had a whole little, a bit like a picture of a thing with all these things all exactly the same.
Yeah,
all
that's
these
right. You could have.
But no, we're every single one, even twins, even identical twins.
I'm not the
their fingerprints are different.
Can I tell what blows my mind? What I saw in a documentary. It's the snowflakes.
Oh
yes, everyone's different.
They're all different.
And they've never, I know.
Yeah, that freaks me out.
Yeah.
I know.
There's so many snowflakes. They're all different.
Surely they're not.
That's mad. That's like, you can't complain that.
I mean, all different.
But again, that is the beauty.
Yeah, it's not.
And I think if nothing else, if people question, how can God exist? And I know one of the big questions is because of, the world is so awful and people are killing each other and illness and death and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
But that is exactly it. Go back to Genesis 1 and it clearly says that because Adam sinned, death entered the world.
Yes. And what was the sin, just for our viewers?
Because he took notice of his wife and he ate, and it isn't an apple, fruit off the tree of life, which they were told not to touch, because God said, if you eat of that, you will know the same as I do.
It's the tree of
knowledge, good and evil.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's a tree of life. It's a tree of life in Revelation. Good and evil.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, right there through the Bible. Yeah.
Cool.
Did you want to mention the scripture you had? I think it's a good point.
Go on. Go.
So we've got Romans 5, this is.
Yeah, because I think that's a good one after what you mentioned.
I think that this, let me just grab it up. I should have bookmarked this. This is a good one as well, particularly for those who are Christian of faith, because let me just bring it up. This describes, and you were mentioning before we started recording, weren't you, Joel, around seeing Jesus throughout the whole Bible?
Yeah.
And this is a really good example of this, but this is from the New Testament. So this is Romans 5, 18 to 19. To be honest, though, the whole of Romans chapter 5 is interesting, but let me just bring up the right verse. Sorry, 1 second. So, this is a very short snippet. Therefore, as through one man's offence, judgment came to all men, resulting in condemnation. Even so, through one man's righteous act, the free gift came to all men, resulting in justification of life. For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so also by one man's obedience many will be made righteous.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more around that.
And what men were we referring to?
So the
Jesus.
first man being Adam,
Yes.
and the
Last Adam,
second man
Jesus.
being Jesus. But the for me, when I read that and was thinking ahead for this episode, one of the things that I found quite challenging, if I'm being completely honest, was a lot of this discussion I initially found quite challenging, but it's been interesting and actually quite a freeing experience, to be honest, to look at things through different eyes, and Jason was very helpful in that. Something you said earlier, Mim, is if you don't believe that Adam was one man, what else should you believe or not believe in the rest of the Bible? And if it wasn't one man, that means that death happened before Adam.
Absolutely.
So
that's evolution.
Can you? I don't quite get you say if you don't believe that Adam is one man.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't get it.
no. So my belief previously was that if talking of Adam being the term for man in the
So you were talking about you could have been lots of
could have
men.
been lots of people.
Rather than one
As
person.
a metaphorical kind of generalisation of
A name.
people.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And then that would also allow me to fit in evolution into that, because I say, well, that's
exactly.
But the problem with that is that if you ascribe to that viewpoint, you are allowing death to happen before the fall.
And it clearly says death entered through Adam.
Yeah.
And Adam was. They talk about Adam 1 and Adam 2, don't they, being Jesus, being Adam 2. So basically, if we believe in evolution, all those deaths of all those pre-us have happened. So death was in the world, in the earth, before
Adam sinned.
Adam sinned.
And the two main points.
So
of
it
that-
defeats.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it shows that God's creation was not perfect.
Exactly. It's saying that God,
Yeah, exactly.
God did all the wrong things.
Wasn't the
and
Bible
then-
a liar?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
basically,
so-
it says that God made all these odd bits,
Yeah.
and finally, oh, good, I've got one that's okay.
Right,
Yeah, but that's true, isn't it?
I've not actually heard this version before.
No, that's right. For me, there were two
Yeah.
things that really stuck out. Is one, we'd be worshipping a God that created suffering and death. At that
Yes,
point.
which is not what.
And secondly, like the why would you need Jesus in that situation?
You wouldn't.
Because
no, you wouldn't.
it just doesn't
There
make
is no.
sense. So that
There is no point for Jesus unless you believe that death came through Adam because he sinned.
And that we all
'Cause there wouldn't be a
sinners.
fall.
And we all sin because of it. As we said earlier, you never teach a child to be naughty, do you? They are born able to sin.
That's proof of Adam sinning.
Exactly.
Adam and Eve. Yeah.
This tiny, the minute it's able to run around or even respond to you, it will react.
And it's important for viewers to know we're suggesting, or we believe, that the children who come into the world have inherited this.
Absolutely.
Through,
yes.
Is it called through genes?
Yes. Well, I think what you've got to say is that sin runs through all of us because of the fact that Adam first sinned, and we all live, and we live in a fallen world.
So you're also saying that we're all from one human.
Yes.
Yeah,
I do believe that.
Yeah.
Because you're scientists, you can confirm that. Because we all have blood sinful.
Exactly.
I was taught through scientists that blood comes from the man, the father. And the reason why Jesus' blood, one was sinless, because obviously he was born of God.
He was born, I mean, some of our genetics definitely is more male, whether you're female or male. The interesting, being a biomedical scientist, and I dealt with blood groups all the time. There's 4 blood groups, right? A, B, and O. Adam and Eve, one must have been an A and one must have been a B to get those 4 blood groups in their children, which I think is fascinating that God did that.
It's almost like evidence to you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. I'm like, wow, and different, people. But again, I think we've got, if we're going to believe in Jesus as our saviour, we have to believe we need to be saved from something.
Yes.
Otherwise, there is no point.
Yeah, true.
We're just following a,
Yeah.
So if we believe that we need to be saved from something,
Yeah.
what is it?
Yes.
And obviously, the what is it is the fact that we're sinners, that we don't do what God asks, which goes back to the fact that Adam and Eve didn't do what God asked.
That's right. That's right.
He said to them, you can eat from everything in this garden except that. And a bit like the child, you say to a little child, you can do anything you like in this room, but don't touch that cupboard.
Oh,
Where's the first thing they go? Straight to the cupboard.
Yeah, because we're bent to all sin now.
We are.
That's why we do that. But before, as a reminder,
Adam and Eve would have been, before they did that,
Yes.
they would have been perfect humans.
so they could have resisted
Yes,
and just followed.
but remember,
what
they were
made them?
tempted
Okay.
by the
Can you explain that?
serpent,
Yeah, go for it.
who would have been the enemy.
Yes, and just can you give us a bit more about that story? Just
What you've got to remember is that at that dark time, snakes didn't slither along the ground.
That's correct. Yes.
They would be upright.
So can I ask?
And God made them go back down to the ground.
Yeah. So
Because
what,
he took away. He said there'll be slippery.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And they
No.
do say that in the snake you can find a...
There is.
Yeah, in the
yes,
bone. If you go
yes,
into the bone, you
yeah,
can see where the
there-
legs were.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I'm just thinking of people maybe watching.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that people may ask is, and it's for all of us, but why would God allow the snake to be there to tempt?
Because the snake was perfectly all right. It was allowed. It allowed the devil to. Because remember, the devil would have spoken through it.
Okay.
So that like everything could be tempted, and of course Adam and Eve could have refused the temptation,
Yeah.
but they didn't.
And
Because remember what the snake said, and this is very interesting. Did God really say? How many times as humans do we do something because in our head it says, does it really matter if I do that? Does it really, will it really affect anything? That is the enemy.
Okay.
Very clever.
Can I throw something in? I'm a bit on Stuart. I think maybe Stuart was asking something a bit more deeper.
Yeah.
That was deep.
Yeah.
I think he's also wanting to know, why would the Lord allow the snake in the garden in the first place?
Because God made everything good. But the snake was allowed to be entered by the devil, to be tempted. That is as simple as that. God would have allowed that to happen.
I
Because
suppose
we are. God allows things to happen to us, and if it didn't happen like that, we'd be robots. And God hasn't made us robots; He's given us free will.
that's
It
right.
reminds me of the story of Job, though.
Yes,
Because
I mean all
God
the things that happened to Job.
Yeah,
He hadn't
God
done
allowed-
anything wrong.
He allowed.
No.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to allow for the fact that it was all part of a testing. Sadly, both the snake and Adam and Eve failed miserably, but it was a perfectly good animal.
So it's a
at
key
the time.
part. It's a testing.
Yes.
So the
it's-
Lord, God is allowed to test.
Oh,
people.
indeed. And testing makes you grow stronger.
Yeah. Joel, what's she trying to say there?
No, it's
Yeah.
what-
It was
because
No, that's
he
you know.
allowed Job, in the story of Job, he allowed Satan to afflict Job.
He did, and he done nothing
taking
wrong.
all
Oh,
his-
you're saying God allowed Satan
Yeah. Yeah.
to test him as well.
Yeah.
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 So he's,
Yeah.
See, the thing is that it's in. If you, I'm thinking about viewers, and they can now take a negative opinion have a negative opinion now that they know that God's going to put me in a situation of testing.
Well,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Jesus said, "Do not lead me into temptation." in
Yeah,
a prayer."
I think the thing is what we've got to accept that we are in a world where many things are getting at us for various reasons, and God often allows some of those things to happen to help us learn, help us get stronger, help us. I mean, if you exercise, why do you do it? To get stronger.
Yes.
But it hurts while
Yes.
you're doing it.
I'm going to throw a really negative thing,
Yeah.
and hopefully you can give us a good answer. All three of you can help. Well, if God is such a lovely and loving person, or spirit, or power, why is there so much sickness in the world?
You've got to accept that we're in a fallen world, and the world is full of evil.
Is it not the way He planned it to be?
No, He planned it to be perfect, but Adam and Eve allowed
Okay.
themselves to be
Okay.
tempted.
By
Therefore, we now live in a fallen world,
Honestly.
which is why there is all the awful things that happen. Plus the fact, as human beings, we like our own way, hence free will.
Yeah.
God has allowed us, like we can make the decision to believe that Jesus exists or not, and that's our free will.
Yeah. And I can also add that there is a spiritual warfare going on
There
between
is.
good and evil.
There is
That we're
all
caught
the
up
time.
in between.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And therefore it's about us building enough strength in our belief in Jesus
Yeah.
to be able to rebut that.
Yeah.
You won't stop all of it, because some of it is part of what we're going to have to put up with.
Yes.
But also I think we've got to accept that as the world moves on, and let's be honest, it's been going 7,000 years or whatever it is now, things sadly deteriorate. And unfortunately we're seeing the deterioration, and if you read it in Revelation, it clearly says what's going to happen, and we're getting very much to that point.
Could you expound a little bit on this next part? That even when Eve and Adam and Eve ate off the fruit, they were forbidden fruit, that, because you mentioned a snake, that there's the Lord, or shall I say God, he also put a plan in for our redemption.
He did.
Could you?
But that plan was already there. Remember, if you go back to Genesis 1 at the beginning, it says the Spirit was hovering over the water.
That's correct.
And Jesus would have been there at the creation.
Yeah.
So the Son was already there.
Yeah.
They knew that Adam... God knows. Remember, God's not in time like we are. So, although you don't know what's going to happen to you in 5 years' time, God does.
Yes. That's correct.
God knew when he put Adam and Eve in the garden that they would fail.
Yes.
And because of that, he had a plan of how to bring us back.
To rescue them.
Yes, which
Amen.
is Jesus.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, so there you are.
There is something in, is it in 2 Peter as well? Because I don't know if it is 2 Peter, because it may not be this reference, but about it answers a question as to why it's so long, so that many people can be saved as well, for that plan to work out.
That would be God's plan.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
we don't know what God's plan is, and even Jesus said he didn't know when the Father he would be coming again. Only the Father knows, and we have to accept that. There's a lot of parts of our faith that we have to literally have faith in, and not actually evidence.
Yeah.
We can read, we can, but at the end of the day, we will not know the answer. We will when we go to heaven. But we
have to trust.
We have to trust.
Yeah.
It is about trust.
It's
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah. So that really probably ends.
Well, there's plenty there, and
Yeah.
I think we've looked at lots of different rabbit holes
Yes.
that people can look at home.
Exactly, and
and
people.
Quite riveting, I'd
Yeah.
say.
And if
I think
people
it's
know me,
amazing.
they're more than welcome to come and talk to me.
Thank you.
And we're
I'm
going to
sure
have
we-
you back.
Yeah. So no, I think that was a really interesting
Yeah.
episode. Is there anything else we wanted to say before we kind of wrap up?
Yeah.
I did. I think this topic's been very appropriate, talking about, creation. We've also had some not so good news. We had a very close friend of Faithfood Baptist Church, Barbara, who passed away a couple of days back. And we just want to dedicate this particular podcast to her.
Yeah.
In remembrance of her, and also because we obviously, because we've chosen not to believe in evolution, we believe in creation. We also believe that she's with the Lord.
Yes,
and
amen.
that's why we met
Yeah.
up regularly.
Yeah.
And this is the name we praise, and we believe we've been rescued by Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
Amen.
she's
just the body that was left behind.
Amen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
Exactly.
So
We will have a new body when we go to heaven.
Amen.
Amen.
There are many promises in the
Yeah.
in the book which you're getting all this from.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So that I'm
Thank
happy
you.
with that.
No, that's a really nice way to
Yeah,
phrase it.
that's
and
lovely.
I've-
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you very much.
Another
everyone.
day, another time.
Yes, and thank you very much for watching too. So,
Yeah.
if you would like to find out more about creation or evolution, I'm sure if you're a member of Faithfood Baptist Church, Mim, like she said, will be happy. So expect a queue. But there'll also be more about our church and all the work that's being done at Faithfood Baptist Church on our website. You can look at faithfood.tv as well, our Facebook pages too. And we will see you at the next episode.
And the address for Faithfood Baptist Church is hawkwellbaptistchurch.co.uk.
off the top of my head.
.co.uk.
.co.uk. Cool, sorry.
Yes,
I should
yes.
know, but you'll include in the description.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Lovely.
Excellent.
Thank you. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Mister.
No
Bye.
problem. No problem.